Hello, welcome. My name is Tracy. I'm an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator here in Australia. Thank you so much for joining me. Today's day 3 of Christmas in July and we're making this cute little candy dispensing box. It has a drawer at the front here that opens up and lets I have jelly beans in there, white and green jelly beans, lets them out. And the top of it also opens up where you can refill, so you can actually fit quite a few lollies in there. Now this is make a really great little box, a little gift that you could give to a co-worker, a friend, a family member. It's quite inexpensive to make and it's quite easy too. So let's bring the supplies in. I've made the box in shaded spruce. So for the box, the piece you need is 4.5 by 8.5. Then we have for the lid 4 by 4 inches and for the drawer 3 by 4 inches. And I have a whole heap of layering pieces as well, and I've got Old Olive and the Designer Series paper. I have 3 of these ones, which are for the 3 sides. Then I have one for the lid and one for the front here, and then one for the drawer here. Check all the measurements are all on my blog. It's in the description of this video. There's also a link to my online store where you can purchase all your Stampin' Up supplies, and if you use the Hostess code and do an order through me, I'll send you out a free gift. So we're going to start making the box first. So using the larger piece of shaded spruce. Oh, and I also used the Old Olive ribbon here, the sheer ribbon. Okay, so the largest piece of the shaded spruce I'm going to bring in my trimmer. And on the 8.5 inch side, we're going to score at 2 inch. 4 inch, 6 inch, and 8 inch. I'll just open that up. There we go. And then turning it to the side, we're then going to score at 1/2 inch all the way down. Now, this is where it starts getting a little tricky. We have our tab here. So we're not going to work on the first rectangle, we're going to work on the second rectangle. And we're going to move it over to the 1 inch. And on that second large rectangle, we are just going to, I'm going to cut in between those 2 score lines. So for the second large rectangle. So cutting that all the way along. Like that. Then I'm also going to move it over to the 1 1/4 inch mark. Now get rid of my cutting blade. I'm going to bring my scoring blade back in, and at the top of that rectangle and the bottom of the rectangle, I'm just going to make a mark so I know where that 1 1/4 inch mark is. There we go. So I have the 1 inch line cut and the 1 1/4 inch marked. And I have the templates on my blog for when we're cutting. So then while we have the scoring blade out, I'm going to bring in my 4 by 4 inch, which is our lid. And what we're going to do is we're going to score at 1 inch on all 4 sides. That gives us our box lid. Now with our drawer, we're going to go on the shorter end, so the 3 inch side, we're going to score at 1 inch. And then we're going to turn it back to the 4 inch side and score at 1 inch on either side. Turning that around, putting it at the 1 inch again. So we have 2 lines here and 1 across. So we might work on the box first, and I'll bring that template in so you can see it. I'm going to fold and score first on all those score marks. Now, the tabs on this side, so what we're going to do is we're going to notch off either end and taking off that last little box. Oh, sorry, that was out of view. So we're going to notch on the tabs and taking off this very last little square down here. So I'll take off the square first and I'll notch off that corner. So I'm cutting off that on the corner there at the same time, just to make it a bit easier. And notching the other tab. Now turning it around, we're going to cut up each of those other score marks. And then on the one that we've cut at the 1 inch mark, we're going to cut all the way up to that 1 inch. So we're pretty much taking off those 2 rectangles there. And then next what we're going to do is we're going to cut up to that 1 1/4 inch mark that we have made there. And then we're going to come across a little bit and notch halfway up. So we only want to go halfway between the end here and where we've cut to. So it's only a small little triangle. And the same for the other side. There we go. So that's our box. Let's bring in our box lid next. And what we're going to do is we're going to cut up 2 of the score lines, and then we're going to turn it around so we're doing the opposites as well. This is just like the fundamentals of making a box, this one. And then on the tabs that we have cut, we're just going to notch either side. And turning around the other side. Last one. Okay. And I have that also pattern on the website as well. So the last one is our drawer. And what we have, we're going to fold and score on those score lines again. So we have it like this. We're going to cut up and cut these side panels off. And then we're going to take from this end to that score mark and cut those squares in half. Okay, so let's do that. That's one rectangle off. And the second rectangle. And then we're going to cut from this corner up to this score line. And same here as well. That gives us like a winged draw. Okay, so what we might do is we're going to bring the box back in. So now let's make the box. Now I know some people will put their mattings on their box beforehand. I find just to make sure it gets in the middle of each thing, because you've got the box lid coming down, you want to be able to make sure that it's all even. I find it easier to put the box together. So on our tab, we're going to just put some Tombow glue and attach our box together. And there's that one. Now the next piece is the drawer. And what the drawer does So the drawer slides in that box, and these tabs that are folding down, that glues that piece in. So I'm just going to, before I do that, I'm just going to pop these side bits in first. There we go. Making sure that sits down in it properly. Just like that. Okay. So I'm going to put the sides down on first. So I'm going to push it down to make sure that it sits down flat. And then the last one there. Push that one down as well. So the Tombow glue is good. It has a lot of wriggle room for you, so it works well that way, but you just need to hold it for a couple of seconds and it'll take hold of it, no problem. Now if your drawer doesn't shut properly, you might just have to cut a little bit more up the sides here, okay, and then it'll shut, no worries. So let's bring our box lid in and we'll just pop that together. And all we're going to do is put some glue on our tabs and secure them together. Last one here. Now I put my box lid on before I started doing all my matting. So let's bring these in. What I'll do first is I'm just going to glue the DSP to the old olive matting and then I'll come back. Okay, so I have all my pieces stuck together. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to attach them to my box. So I have one of the squarer pieces. I'm going to attach one of those to the very front of the box, in between the drawer and the lid of the box. And then we have 3 of the larger rectangles. Like I said, all the measurements are on my blog, so just head over to the blog and you can see all the measurements. And I'm just going to pop these ones in the middle here. So once you've got all your bits and pieces cut, it's a really quick project. And you can certainly fit quite a few things in the box. Okay, so now we have our drawer. Attach that little rectangle to the drawer. Whoa. And the last one is for our top of our lid. So the last thing we have left is just our ribbon to go around our top of our box. So what I did So I just sort of measured so it was in the middle, and then I'd done a knot. And then bringing in a glue dot, I just stuck that knot down just so it wouldn't move on me while I was doing my This glue dots want to stick still. So I've just sort of popped that glue dot in half. There we go. Take this off just to make sure it's in the middle. So I want to make sure it's all in the middle, and I also want to make sure that that knot is stuck on that glue dot really well. I don't want it to be moving because we're not sticking any glue around the sides. So then all we have to do is just make a bow. Right. Cutting off the excess. That glue dot's just holding onto that whole bow now, which is really good. Okay. Thanks so much for sticking with me for the lolly dispenser. I hope you come back for day 4. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.